We're now in the top 1% of all YouTubers. And we just had our 1 billionth minute of our content downloaded on YouTube. 1 billionth minute. That's how big a deal we are on YouTube. It's pretty crazy. Now, what comes with that is, of course, that audience is much younger than some of you listening to AM radio, right? It's a bunch of puppies, a bunch of kiddos. And so I get some of the most interesting stuff on Twitter now. My hate mail has completely changed. And so, Dave, you're such an old-fashioned, stick-in-the-mud boomer. Yeah, you got it, which is why you're listening. So let's continue that discussion from a minute ago, since I'm an old-fashioned stick-in-the-mud boomer. And I hate all your religious stuff, Dave. That's the other one. I'd listen to you all the time, but all that Bible stuff, man, you should leave all that out. It hasn't got anything to do with money. You don't know what you're talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, you're 22 and live in your mother's basement, okay? So let's just keep in mind who's confused here, all right? Now, let's walk through it, though. Here's the interesting thing. Okay, Professor Bill Galston, he was on President Clinton's Domestic Policy Committee. He was one of the advisors. Found in research that if you graduate from high school, marry before having a child, and have that child after age 20, this piece of research says only 8% of the people who do so will be below the poverty level. Fail to do it in that sequence, and 79% will be below the poverty level. Having babies while you're in high school, having babies very, very young, having babies while you're not married, all of these kinds of things. It changes your probability for poverty dramatically. Dramatically. Here's another one. Recent report on this topic focusing on millennials reports that 97% of those who follow the success sequence, and here's the sequence, earn at least a high school diploma, work, and marry before having children or living together, will not be poor as they enter their 30s. 97%. So, this is just statistical data, which is pretty agnostic except for its conclusion. Only 4% of homes with a married mother and father are on food stamps at any given time. But 21% of those cohabitating and 28% of single parents are on food stamps. 78% of married people own their own home. 41% shacking up, cohabitating adults own their own home. So this data says that you're not winning when you get these old-fashioned moral things out of order. The data says that it's affecting your life when you just do whatever the flip you want to do. And so really be thinking about this. And moms and dads, really be coaching your kids on this. It affects the probability of poverty. It affects the probability of financial success. Well, Dave, I don't like you discussing all this Bible stuff. That's not Bible stuff. That's research. Now, the Bible does have a lot to say about these things, and I do talk about biblical finance, and I'm very open about the fact that I'm a Christian. And there's a reason I do that. It also has an intellectual basis to it. Let's walk through that for those of you pups that don't understand this stuff or that are just twisted and you're old. I don't care. But here's the deal. Personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. The knowledge, the details of what you need to do to become wealthy and handle money well are not rocket science. Live on less than you make. Get on a written plan. Invest. Stay out of debt. Have money saved for an emergency. Don't sign debt for somebody else called co-signing. These are real basic, primitive concepts. They're not deep at all. Knowing what to do is like losing weight. Most people know what to do, but we like chocolate chip cookies. which are not conducive to losing weight, I have found, personally. So, especially when you eat an entire line of them, you know. So, the point here is personal finance is more about changing and managing your behaviors, being emotionally mature, than it is about some set of head knowledge. The secrets of the rich is that there's not a secret. It's self-discipline. It's saying, I'm not going to spend like I'm in Congress. I'm not going to try to keep up with the Joneses on Instagram because they are really broke. The old Joneses next door used to be broke. The ones on Instagram are really broke. And so I'm not, this is behavior management. So here's the thing. 100% of your behavior choices are based in your beliefs. What you believe about your future, about life, about relationships, about what you believe causes you to make the behavior choices you make.